Part 65. Back to the 60s, The Struggle Career of a Charmed Wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 641. Commander Chen not only had high praise for Feng Qingxiu, but also had high expectations. He expected Wang Sanbao's experimental results to prove that the first aid technique Feng Qingxiu had figured out was very effective. Once the results show that first aid can improve the survival rate of wounded soldiers on the battlefield, Feng Qingxiu will be indispensable. Everyone above was waiting for Wang Sanbao to come back. Qi Gang had some scruples and could only say to Feng Qingxiu, "Comrade Qingxiu, please calm down and don't get so angry that Lu Zhang will come back to settle the score with me." Qi Gang surrendered, and Feng Qingxiu would naturally not be aggressive. "Commander Qi, there is something I think many people in the family compound want to tell you. They are just afraid of your high position and power and dare not speak out. I leave my words here today. I have no way of teaching my son. It's not just outsiders who are hurt. It doesn't matter if you, the parents, teach you or not. You, the parents, will finally taste the bitter consequences. There will be a place where you can discipline him in the future. I don't tolerate the existence of sand in my eyes. If my family, my children, my husband, and I are humiliated by Master Ling from now on, I will seek justice even if I go to the military headquarters. That's all, I'll say goodbye." After getting angry, Feng Qingxiu walked in the family compound, feeling relaxed. Alternate teacher Yang Hongfei pulled her to a secluded place and whispered, "Qingxiu, did you go to Qi's house to apologize or to make trouble?" "Why are you asking?" Although she is a substitute teacher, Yang Hongfei is very responsible and has a good teaching attitude. Girls such as Ding Lanlan praise her highly because Chen Ju often does not come to teach them, so Yang Hongfei takes over the class. Ju's reason is that she has to take care of her children and only goes to school when she has free time, so she is a typical person who occupies the toilet and does nothing. Yang Hongfei said sheepishly, "When I saw you walking into Qi's house, many people were eavesdropping from the corner. I heard what they were talking about and couldn't tell how powerful you were. Can you offend Chenju? Wait until Zibao grows up some, they definitely have to go to school. At that time, will the petty Chenju not be able to avenge her privately? It's okay, don't worry. Zibao is only 2 years old this year. When he goes to school, I don't know if his father and I are still here." Feng Qingxiu is not worried at all. It's not like she doesn't have the ability to teach children. Besides, considering that Chenju spent 3 days fishing and 2 days drying nets, the tolerance of the troops was also limited. As Feng Qingxiu expected, it didn't take long for the army to remove Chenju from his job and replace him with Yang Hongfei. Chenju is now concentrating on taking care of her children, always walking around Zibao, but she and Qi Gang are reluctant to discipline Qi Xiang. Qi Xiang is still as domineering as before. Sometimes when Chenju takes her to school, she will directly rob students. Their hard-earned paper and pencil textbooks were torn into pieces of paper flying all over the sky. Parents who were too angry to speak out collectively went to see Political Commissar Zheng for justice. The military severely criticized Chenju and asked Qi Gang, the head of the family, to compensate the students for their losses. Those paper and pencil textbooks were brought in from outside with a lot of effort. Basically, 2 students share a set of textbooks because they are worried that future students will not have textbooks to use. There are tens of thousands of soldiers in the military division, and there must be more than a few dozen family members who are eligible to accompany the army, and there are many more to come. Feng Qingxiu didn't care about these things. She was interested in the experimental results that Wang Sanbao brought back. When Wang Sanbao returned, most of the senior generals in the army went to the military hospital, waiting for Wang Sanbao's answer. Back to the 60s, The Struggle Career of a Charmed Wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 642. Wang Sanbao wiped his face, which was so thin that it was all skin and bones, with an astonishing light shining in his eyes. "Comrade Commander, Wang Sanbao has fulfilled his mission." Wang Sanbao spoke directly to Commander Chen, grinning widely, showing a set of neat white teeth. "After my continuous experiments on the wounded on both sides of the enemy and ourselves, afterwards, I also communicated with the doctors at the Military Region General Hospital for several days, and the results showed that it is completely feasible." The senior generals present immediately laughed and laughed very happily. "Is it true," Commander Chen asked eagerly, "some of the first aid techniques that Comrade Feng Qingxiu figured out are really effective? Are they more effective than the first aid techniques that were previously mastered by the military?" Wang Sanbao nodded vigorously. "It's very effective. The effect is particularly good. There are some wounded soldiers. If in the past, my skills were not enough to save their lives and send them to the rear for treatment, it is different now. Two seriously injured soldiers, after using Comrade Feng Qingxiu's first aid, they successfully survived the treatment at the rear and turned the corner. Not only that, according to what Comrade Feng Qingxiu recorded and handed over to me, the content not only included battlefield first aid, but also there are other things that we have never been exposed to. The surgeon in charge of the Military Region General Hospital has made breakthrough progress in the research of human tissue. This is because the first aid technique developed by Comrade Feng Qingxiu involves some things that we have not explored. To the structure of the human body." At this point, her laughter was extremely hearty, and she walked over and patted Feng Qingxiu on the shoulder hard. "Xiaoxiu, thank you for your mind, thank you for your selflessness, adding a little bit of hope to our soldiers to survive hope." Feng Qingxiu felt ashamed. "Sister Sanbao, please don't say that, I deserve it." She really doesn't have an original mind. These are the brainchild of many doctors at home and abroad in later generations. She just feels that they should be brought out. There will always be someone who can see through the key and make the country's medical career a big step forward. Of course, in order not to arouse suspicion, she took out some things selectively for the time being. Commander Chen said loudly, "Who said you deserve it? I think you deserve it, you totally deserve it. The life of every one of our soldiers is precious, and these effective first aid techniques will help fight on the battlefield, and thousands of injured soldiers bring hope of life. A little more hope can save countless lives." There was a trace of tears in his eyes, which was the excitement caused by the effective first aid surgery and the sadness caused by the sacrifice of his comrades. A collective vote was taken to give Feng Qingxiu first-class credit. In the eyes of all of them, her first aid skills were her most outstanding contribution. Wang Sanbao, who worked tirelessly to use experimental results to prove the feasibility of first aid, received second-class merit. Although she worked harder than Feng Qingxiu, first aid was Feng Qingxiu's knowledge. When applying for an honorary title for Feng Qingxiu in the military division, Wang Sanbao urged Feng Qingxiu to sort out the information. Integrate all the information together, continue to study medical skills in depth, and don't slack off at all. During this period, I will try my best to teach you everything I know. If you have the opportunity, just follow me. Go to the operating table. Believe me, the military district headquarters will definitely send someone to find you. After they test it and confirm that the effect is extraordinary, you should be ready to introduce it to military districts all over the country. The first aid technique is effective and will definitely be promoted nationwide. Various military districts. It's just a novel." Bo Jun smiled. "Don't take it seriously, the real thing is definitely not that childish. Please vote. Monthly ticket, it's the end of the month, if you have a ticket, give it to me." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 643. Compared to Wang Sanbao, Feng Qingxiu naturally did not understand the situation in the army thoroughly enough. She had no idea what would happen in the future. She did whatever Wang Sanbei said and devoted all her energy to studying. Everyone always praises her for being selfless, but in fact Wang Sanbei is truly selfless. Wang Sanbei dedicated her life to the country, the troops, and her comrades, and she taught the younger generations everything she had. She attaches great importance to Feng Qingxiu. She is quick in thinking and decisive in doing things. Her hands are obviously those of someone who has learned both hands. She has made rapid progress in medical skills. Unlike most of the medical soldiers who are sometimes scolded by her as stupid and stupid. They are not stupid. People who are too stupid have no chance of being selected into the army as medical soldiers. They are all very hard-working and conscientious, but their brains are not flexible enough. In all this busyness, Zibao was inevitably neglected. The learning atmosphere in the field hospital is too strong, and it is like a cage for Zibao, who likes to have fun. For 2 days a day, 10 days and a half, he only had eyes for his mother, plus all kinds of toys, and young medical soldiers teasing him, but he could stay there, but he was not happy to do this every day, and stretched out his hand to drag Feng Qingxiu out. He was playing and was hugged by Guo Xiuying. Zibao, Mom is studying. Can Aunt take you out to play? Zibao pursed her small mouth unhappily and looked at Feng Qingxiu with her big round eyes angrily. Mom. Guo Xiuying followed his eyes and looked over. Feng Qingxiu was asking Wang Sanbei about the medical problems she had encountered recently. Her attitude was very serious. Wang Sanbei was also very patient. Later, he was afraid that she would not be able to grasp everything, so he simply took her to the ward. There are soldiers in the ward who were recently injured and sick and are receiving treatment. Mom. No more. No more mother, Zibao immediately cried with a sad face. The surrounding medical soldiers couldn't help but gathered around, talking all over the place. Zibao is so pitiful. Sister Qingxiu is so busy that she forgets that she is pregnant. She forgets that there is a Zibao who needs her to take care of. Sister Qingxiu must know that we are here to help take care of Zibao. Otherwise, how could she be so relieved? Don't you think so, Zibao? Zibao, Zibao, look at me, kiss me, I'll give it to you. Eat sweets, I bought you high-end milk candies. The one who spoke was Du Xiaotao. He took out a toffee from his pocket and shook it in front of Zibao, which made Zibao's eyes light up. Sugar, Zibao stretched out his hand to grab it, but didn't catch it. Zibao, kiss me and I'll give it to you. Du Xiaotao, who became a medical soldier after getting married, finally regained his former lively temperament and leaned his face towards her. Zibao kissed her hard, once on the left cheek, once on the right cheek, and once on the forehead. After the kiss, he got the toffee smoothly, which made him smile. Facing the cute Zibao, the others immediately became jealous and asked Zibao to kiss them one after another, and then gave him delicious food. As a result, the little guy had candy in his mouth and waved his chubby hands towards them. No. Don't want. That's enough for you. Just send something in private. Don't spread it out and let outsiders gossip, Guo Xiuying reminded. A young medical soldier named Feng Xiao just took a piece of dried meat from his pocket to comfort Zibao. Hearing this, he couldn't help but frowned and asked, Sister Guo, what does this mean? Should we buy some for Zibao? Delicious, someone is gossiping about us behind our back. There must be, no one gossips, Sister Guo would not say such things. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 644. Guo Xiuying sighed, it's not as good as it used to be. In the past, Zibao was the only child who appeared in the army. Everyone liked him, so it was inevitable that you would give him something delicious, and I would give something delicious, back and forth. Over time, Zibeo has become the most blessed child, but no one is jealous. Now, there are dozens of military family members in the family compound with dozens of children, all of whom have the same status as Zibeo. Give it to Zibeo, but not their children. They secretly talk about Zibeo's uniqueness. People's hearts are like this, and there is nothing they can do about it. After all, the law does not punish everyone. Feng Xiao put the pork jerky directly into Zibeo's hand. If their children are as cute as Zibeo, I will give them to them, but can they compare with Zibeo? Are they as white as Zibeo? Are they as fat as Zibeo? Is Zibeo so cute? No, then you can't blame us for liking Zibeo. Zibeo seemed to understand Feng Xiao's praise for herself, and immediately gave her 2 free dimples. Not only that, he also nodded heavily in agreement. Yeah. Hearing his response, everyone burst into laughter. Guo Xiuying has discovered this a long time ago. As long as Zibeo is praised, he will definitely understand it and will not hesitate to smile. If the words spoken to him are not good, he will puff out his cheeks and ignore them. What a villain! Guo Xiuying couldn't help but touch her forehead to Zibeo's. After making out with Zibeo, Guo Xiuying still warned them, everyone should be careful and don't cause trouble for Zibeo and his wife. King Xiu mentioned this matter to me a long time ago and asked Comrade Zhao Yang and I to secretly warn the army. Zhongchang gave something to Zibeo's brother, which shows that she had expected it. We laughed off the jealousy of 1 or 2 people, but what if dozens or hundreds of people gathered together? Due to various family reasons and different temperaments, it is inevitable that the good and the bad are mixed. After King Xiu and Chen Ju became enemies, Chen Ju did not hesitate to ruin King Xiu's reputation behind her back. Another point was that she was afraid that the father of those children would be unhappy. Balance, he is also the child of a soldier, how can Zibeo be favored by everyone? The medical soldiers were thoughtful after hearing these words. Several of them immediately frowned, hating the situation where they had to treat other children and Zibeo equally. Some people just don't look down on other people's good deeds. Feng Xiao was not polite at all. They are learning from Brigadier Lu and Sister King Xiu's meritorious deeds. They don't talk about first-class merit and second-class merit. They show us third-class merit. Look, let us admire you. You are just talking about this and that, and you are jealous that your child is getting some care. Why don't you be jealous of people's time and energy to do something practical? That's right. We like Zibeo, why should they be unhappy? Their discussions had no effect on Zibeo, who wanted to go out to play, and kept urging Guo Xiuying. Okay, don't say anything. Go to work and don't be lazy. I'll take Zibeo out for a spin to see if his father is free now, or to see who is free and ask them to take Zibeo to ride a horse. Except for rest days, Zibeo hasn't gone out to ride horses for a long time. Ride a big horse. Ride a big horse, Zibeo suddenly became interested. Guo Xiuying carried Zibeo around in a circle, turned to the racecourse, and handed Zibeo to Ye Zhenjun. Bye, Zibeo waved to her happily, Mom, sister. Guo Xiuying was stunned, and it took her a long time to understand the meaning of Zibeo's words. Zibeo was telling her to take good care of her mother and her unborn sister. Everyone knew that Lu Zhang wanted a daughter, so Zibeo probably remembered it. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 645. As soon as she returned to the door of the Simple Field Hospital, Guo Xiuying was grabbed by Lu Zayadai. Dr. Guo, a flush of excitement appeared on Lu Zayadai's face, her tone of voice was rapid and high-pitched, take my pulse quickly, and feel to see if I'm pregnant. I haven't been here for 2.5 months. Got it. Noticing that the soldiers in the distance didn't know whether they were passing by or coming to the hospital, she deliberately kept her last words low. Okay, don't worry, let me feel your pulse. Guo Xiuying knew that Lu Zayadai was eager for her son, So she took Luzaidai's wrist, held it with one hand, and felt the pulse with the other. After checking both her left and right hands, Guo Xiuying frowned and tried again, but still couldn't find the slippery pulse. She met Luzaidai's expectant eyes and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. You may have irregular menstruation due to the sudden change in climate and environment, so you are not pregnant. At the same time, Luzaidai was severely deficient in qi and blood, which may be due to the fact that she did not receive good care after delivery. In this case, it would be difficult for her to get pregnant. Impossible, Luzaidai yelled, grabbing Guo Xiuying's shoulders with two thin hands. Dr. Guo, you lied to me, right? Didn't you? That one didn't come, doesn't it mean she's pregnant? I'm 2.5 months, if you touch it again, you may touch it for me now, maybe it will be there now. Guo Xiuying comforted, you are still young, why are you in such a hurry? In the past, there were no children behind Zhao Di because you and Director Jin were separated for a long time. How can you have a child by yourself? Now you are with the army, and you get along with Director Jin day and night, and it's very easy. You'll get pregnant soon, don't worry about it. The more you hurry, the less useful it will be. I'll get you some safflower and nurse it back later. Really do not have. Seeing Guo Xiuying nodding, Luzaidai walked away in despair. Guo Xiuying looked at Luzaidai's back and shook her head gently. As time passed, she also knew that Luzaidai wanted to have a son. I just don't understand. Aren't boys and girls the same? Ajong and I just hope that this baby will be a girl. Listening to Guo Xiuying relaying Zibao's words, Feng Qingxiu's slightly rounded face was full of smiles, and she couldn't help but he touched his belly and found that it was more than 5 months old before he knew it. So Zibao and Lu Zhang called her sister to her belly every day. Guo Xiuying smiled and said, I heard that your fetal heart rate is very gentle. According to my experience, Lu Zhang and Zibao are likely to get their wish. Feng Qingxiu was stunned. Sister-in-law, can you tell the difference? Is it more powerful than the B ultrasounds of later generations? Wang Sanbao was packing his things nearby and said, what's so difficult about this? I can hear it a little bit too. I hear it a lot, and combined with the gender of the child after birth, I can probably tell the fetal heart rate of a girl. The dance is softer, but after all, it's based on experience, so it's not that accurate. If it is really a girl, Ajiang will definitely be very happy. People are greedy. Those who have sons want daughters, and those who have daughters want sons. They always want to have children and daughters, and good things come in pairs, the best of both worlds. You can't say this in front of Luzaidai, otherwise she will be furious. She is jealous of the person who gave birth to a son. Guo Xiuying said, didn't you and Ajiang collect a lot of Tibetan medicine? Give it to me tomorrow. Bring some saffron and I'll use it to make tea for Luzaidai. Okay, before you give it to her, you have to tell her not to have sex while drinking safflower. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, The Struggle Career of a Charmed Wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 646. Saffron activates blood circulation and removes blood stasis. Drinking saffron during pregnancy will definitely lead to miscarriage. When taking medicine, experienced doctors will advise patients on any medicine that contains substances that promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis, so as to avoid the occurrence of successful pregnancy while taking medicine and subsequent miscarriage. Guo Xiuying said, don't I know the efficacy of safflower? Don't worry, I will tell her. If she doesn't follow the doctor's advice, it will not be our responsibility. While Director Jin is not in the military camp recently, let her take care of herself. I will use some money from my salary to buy her nutritional supplements, otherwise it will be difficult for her to conceive due to her current physical condition. Lu Zayadai favors boys over girls. I don't know what her fate will be if she gives birth to a daughter next time. If she gives birth to a boy, Zayadai will be unlucky now. Living under the shadow of parents who favor boys over girls for a long time, healthy girls will also become psychologically depressed. Regarding this, there is nothing we can do. Just do your best and obey fate. Based on Lu Zayadai's character, Guo Xiuying also felt that what Feng Qingxiu said would happen, but as an outsider, she had no way to influence Lu Zayadai's thoughts. Feng Qingxiu focused all her attention on her studies, not to mention whether Lu Zayadai had children or not. For her, now she must master the first aid skills and advanced medical skills she proposed. It was indeed right to prepare in advance. A few days later, Commander Chen called Feng Qingxiu, "Pack your luggage and go to the military region headquarters early tomorrow morning." Huh? So fast, it came so fast. Seeing the surprise on Feng Qingxiu's face, Commander Chen smiled heartily and said, "Fast? Not fast at all. Didn't Wang Sanbao have done experiments a long time ago to prove that the method you proposed is feasible? You have saved the enemy and us with your method. Many of the injured have also communicated with the doctors at the Military Region General Hospital. They have to waste time to study it. Isn't this unnecessary?" Feng Qingxiu hurriedly said, "How can it be unnecessary? Any theory needs strict practice to prove whether it is correct. And after all, I am just getting a glimpse of medicine for the first time. What I figure out may not be practical, and it must be proved by experiments." "That's true." Commander Chen admired Feng Qingxiu's lack of arrogance and impatience. "Then you go pack your things, don't delay." Feng Qingxiu hesitated for a moment and did not move her feet. "What's wrong?" Commander Chen asked. Zibao is so young, and Lu Zhang has his own mission. Can I take Zibao with me?" When she arrived at the military headquarters, she didn't know how long she would stay, so she couldn't bear to leave Zibao behind. Commander Chen waved his hand, "I'm taking Zibao with me. I've said hello to the superiors. The superiors are very considerate." Du Xiaotao accompanied Feng Qingxiu. When they arrived at the military region headquarters, they found out that the military region headquarters had actually arranged for them to go directly to the capital. The capital military region got the news and asked Feng Qingxiu to go to the capital military region general hospital to teach them in person. A doctor means that when learning new knowledge, it must be taught by the person who proposed it first. It is more convenient and accurate. If they have any questions, they can ask directly. So, for the first time in their lives, Feng Qingxiu, mother and son, and Du Xiaotao got on a plane to the capital. Planes from the 60s. It is also an imported aircraft, and its appearance is naturally less beautiful than the aircraft of a few decades later, but it is very spacious and comfortable inside. The most surprising treatment for Feng Qingxiu was that she was given mutai for free on the plane, free of charge. I will update 8 chapters today. I was stuck on the arithmetic for most of the day. I really couldn't get it right, so I started coding this book. It is said that in the 1960s and 1970s, some people flew on a plane just to drink mutai. I don't know whether it is true or not, because mutai is the national liquor and requires approval to buy it. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 647. Feng Qingxiu, who immediately put a bottle of mutai in her pocket, felt novel in everything, just like Zibao looking around. Mother and son are like country bumpkins. Except for the rumble of the plane taking off, which startled Zibao, he soon returned to his lively nature, with his fat face pressed against the glass window, causing Feng Qingxiu to quickly fasten his seat belt and give him fastened his own seat belt. Although some unknown leaders on the plane were not wearing seat belts, Feng Qingxiu attached great importance to safety. Du Xiaotao obviously had some knowledge, and whispered to Feng Qingxiu, "We are directly arranged by the army to fly to the capital. If not, you need a letter of introduction and a work permit to buy tickets, both of which are indispensable. The current planes only serve the party and leaders. The air tickets are very expensive, otherwise it would cost me several months of salary. Air tickets, yes, air tickets, are worth collecting. You can take them out in the future and proudly show off to future generations, saying that your mother or your grandma took a plane to the capital in the 1960s. What a thing to be proud of. The proudest one is undoubtedly Zbao, who started flying when he was just over 2 years old. Zbao, are you happy when we go to the capital? Feng Qingxiu looked sideways at her fat son sitting next to her. Zbao opened his big, watery eyes and did not answer his mother's question. He just stretched out his upper body towards the flight attendants and pointed his chubby finger at the tray in their hands. Sugar. Feng Qingxiu turned around and saw the candies, coffee, and tea on the tray. The flight attendants are all young lesbians, each one is pretty, and they all wear white shirts. It was the end of August. Before takeoff, the cabin of the plane was like a steamer. The flight attendant also gave each of them a small fan. After takeoff, it gradually became cooler, and a stream of cold air sprayed out from the side of the overhead luggage, forming a cloud of white mist. Before boarding the plane, Feng Qingxiu's luggage bag was replaced by a suitcase, which was lent to her by the military region headquarters for easier carrying. The flight attendant had a very good attitude. When he saw the fat baby's longing eyes, a waiter immediately brought the tray to him. Little comrade, can you catch it yourself? Okay, Zbao nodded seriously, stretched his 2 little paws into the plate one after another, and grabbed 3 or 2 with one hand. Feng Qingxiu reminded, sister gave you candy, what should you say? Thank you sister. Zbao showed a big smile to the waiter, his teeth were very white and neat. So cute, the waiter couldn't help but praise. Not only the waiter felt this way, but also an old man sitting in the aisle who looked familiar in an old military uniform also turned to look at them and said, what a lucky fat boy. Fat boy, come here, tell grandpa, what is your name? When Zbao heard him asking himself, he immediately pointed to his nose and said, baby. Even with candy in his hand, he would not forget to point to his nose to indicate his identity when someone asked him his name. I don't know why he has this habit, but he has been like this from the beginning. The old man laughed and said, do you call me baby? That's not a bad nickname. What's your first name? Zbao turned to look at Feng Qingxiu. Mom, questions flashed in his eyes. Tell grandpa that your first name is Lu Tianmao and your nickname is Zbao, Feng Qingxiu said hurriedly. Mao, Zbao shook his little head at the old man. Grandpa, baby, my name is Bao. Baby. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 648. Zbao repeated his name over and over again, making the old man laugh so happily that his voice was like a bell. Okay, you call me baby. The name Zbao really lives up to its name, and it's very festive. Feng Qingxiu said respectfully, I've been rude to this point since boarding the plane, and I haven't even asked you your last name yet. Me, the old man laughed heartily, Wang Xinchen. As soon as the 3 words Wang Xinchen entered her ears, Feng Qingxiu was shocked. She never expected to meet Wang Xinchen here. No wonder he looked familiar, but he was not the slightly younger Wang Xinchen. After calming down, she pursed her lips and smiled, hello, old comrade, we have known your name for a long time. I never expected to see your true face on the plane. I am truly lucky. My name is Feng Qingxiu, my husband's name is Lu Zhang. We are from Huihei City, and we are both soldiers now. If you guessed correctly, we are fellow villagers. Wang Xinchen was stunned for a moment, then his eyes widened, what a coincidence. He kept in touch with Cheng Baoqiu once or twice a year. Of course he knew that Lu's father's youngest son was named Lu Zhang. He already held an important position in the army and married a daughter-in-law named Feng Qingxiu. However, he had never heard Chen Baoqiu mention Lu Jiang's son. Name. Yeah, I didn't expect us two to be so lucky. Wait a minute, you said you and Zibao's father are both soldiers. No, isn't Lu Jiang a soldier? According to the military policy, Feng Qingxiu is indeed qualified to join the army, but family members and soldiers are two different things. When Wang Xinchen thought of this, he noticed that Feng Qingxiu was wearing a military uniform with bright red crosses on the sleeves. Are you a medical soldier? Feng Qingxiu nodded. I participated in doctor training at home. After joining the army, I was assigned a job by the army. I became a glorious medical soldier. This time I went to the capital to exchange medical knowledge. Tan Yutong, a doctor from the General Hospital of the military region who was sitting in front of Feng Qingxiu, turned around. He was the military medical leader who took Feng Qingxiu to the capital, while Du Xiaotao was just accompanying Feng Qingxiu. Commander, don't underestimate the situation in front of you. As a female comrade, she was awarded first-class merit. The military district applied for it, and the group army approved it. The military district also approved this honorary title. Once you achieve first-level merit, you can move up a level directly. Wang Xinchen was extremely surprised after hearing Tan Yutong's words. What contribution have you made to achieve first-class merit? It's nothing. Feng Qingxiu was a little embarrassed. Tan Yutong told all the causes and consequences. I have to say that the capital military region is overbearing. Before our military region asked Comrade Feng Qingxiu to teach his experience to the doctors in the military hospital, we received an invitation from the capital military region. I had no choice but to make this trip, hoping to complete the mission and come back once I get there. Feng Qingxiu has a big belly and a child. Who doesn't understand her hard work? Okay, the second brother has a successor. His son is striving for success, and so is his daughter-in-law. Wang Xinchen is particularly happy for Lu's father, and his face is full of relief. I like young people like you who are ambitious and contribute to the country. When you get to the capital, you must take some time to sit at my house. Feng Qingxiu only listens to the arrangements of the army. How can she dare to agree casually? Tan Yutong, on the other hand, said, we will see the arrangements of the capital military region at that time. If there is a chance, I will ask Comrade Qingxiu to visit you. The chance was obviously very small. After getting off the plane and leaving the airport, people from the capital military region came to pick them up. I just wrote 2 chapters through hard work and will update normally around 8 o'clock. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 649. The capital military region attached great importance to Feng Qingxiu's arrival. The 30-year-old soldier sent was obviously of high status, and he also sent a car. Wang Xinchen was full of energy, holding the sleeping Zibao with both hands, and rushed straight to the door. Guo Cheng, when you pick up Xiaoxiu and the others, will you arrange for them to live directly in the military area or in the military area hospital? The military region headquarters is a little far from the military region hospitals and camps. Guo Cheng hurriedly saluted the old commander, and after he returned the salute, he replied, are you talking about Comrade Feng Qingxiu? Wang Xinchen nodded, of course, who else besides her? Guo Cheng said with a smile, although Comrade Feng Qingxiu is here for medical exchange, he was invited by the military region and the exchange content is about battlefield first aid and so on. Of course he lives in the camp, otherwise I wouldn't be the one who came for this trip. If I have time, I might accompany Comrade Feng Qingxiu and the others to the military hospital, but I'm not sure now. Why do you keep asking about this? As he spoke, he looked at Feng Qingxiu, and after she saluted him, she returned the salute. A medical soldier who had only joined the army this year should have nothing to do with Wang Xinchen. Looking at the young female soldier in front of him who was still bright and beautiful with a big belly, Guo Cheng's eyes were a little curious. What? I can't ask, Wang Xinchen stared. Of course not. You care about your comrades in the army. That's your kindness. It was almost the same. Wang Xinchen nodded slightly with satisfaction, and then sent the Zibao into Guo Cheng's arms. He staggered and said rudely, Xiaoxiu and I are fellow villagers, and she is your cousin comrade in arms. This fat boy is very popular with me. You should take good care of them. I will report to you in 2 days and go to the military camp with your aunt to see them. Guo Cheng was stunned and said with a smile, Don't worry, I promise not to cause them any grievances at all. He lowered his head and glanced at Zibao. What a boy, he's so tough. Thinking about it again, oh, his family really loves him. They actually raised him so fat in that plateau area. Feng Qingxiu was stunned. Wang Xinchen's words revealed a lot of information. First, Guo Xiuying is Guo Cheng's cousin. It is not surprising that their family practices medicine. Second, is Guo Xiuying and Guo Cheng's aunt actually Guo Yan? Wang Xinchen's second wife. She had never heard Guo Xiuying mention this before, so she was indeed very low-key. Wang Xinchen turned his head and said to Feng Qingxiu, if you have the chance, go and visit Guo Ming, the uncle of Guo Cheng, who is Xiuying's father. If you don't understand anything, just ask him. His medical skills are very good and Xiuying and nephew can compare. Even if you learn a little bit, you will be able to use it throughout your life. Yes, thank you, Commander, for the tip, Feng Qingxiu said respectfully. It's true that if you don't come to the capital, you won't know how big the world is and how many talents there are. As the political center, the capital is indeed a gathering of elites. If you are afraid, you don't dare to be arrogant. Feng Qingxiu became more cautious and refused to take one more step or say one more word. After Wang Xinchen got in the car and left, she and Du Xiaotao got into the car that picked them up and left. After picking up suitcases, first aid kits, and military equipment, Du Xiaotao took Zibao into his arms again. No matter how many people changed, Zibao still slept soundly, and the wind and rain could not wake him up. After a bumpy journey, they arrived at the camp area. After checking, they entered, and Guo Cheng sent them to the dormitory first. Back to the 60s, the struggle career of a charmed wife. Author, Ning Xiaobai. Chapter 650. Comrade Tan Yutong lives in another place. This is the residence of Comrade Feng Qingxiu and colleague Du Xiaotao. It belongs to the territory of female medical soldiers in the military region. The conditions are simple and the preparations are not complete. Please be considerate. After hearing Guo Cheng's words, Feng Qingxiu said with a smile, Comrade Guo, you are so polite. That's already good. Compared with the southwest military region, the dormitory conditions here are much better. The windows are bright, 2 beds, a desk, and daily necessities are fully prepared. Guo Cheng picked up the hot water bottle and poured water for them. 2 comrades, rest first. Wait, when it's dinner time, I'll ask you to go to the cafeteria to eat together. There is a food subsidy prepared by the army for you in the drawer of the desk. You can pay with your ticket. Thank you, Comrade Guo, we made the troops worry about it, Feng Qingxiu said. Guo Cheng put down the hot water bottle and waved his hand. This is what we should do, no need to be so polite. You guys have a good rest, and I will arrange a place for Comrade Tan to stay. You walk slowly. There were only 2 sisters left in the dormitory and Zibao, who was fast asleep on the bed. Feng Qingxiu and Du Xiaotao looked at each other and then sat on their respective beds to take a breath. To be honest, I was quite nervous. Xiaotao, you've worked hard these past 2 days. Feng Qingxiu touched her belly and was kicked hard by the doll. Du Xiaotao said with a smile, "What's so hard? I'm so happy to be able to return to the capital military region. If I have the opportunity, I can meet my dad, my mother, my brother, and my sister-in-law. They are all in the capital military region and live in the family building. We arrived in a hurry and didn't say hello in advance. They will be shocked when they see me." Just as he was talking, a voice came from outside the door, "Smelly girl, who is scared?" Du Xiaotao suddenly jumped up. "Brother," after Feng Qingxiu agreed, she rushed over and opened the door. She saw her eldest brother Du Haidao outside the door, with a smile on her face that she didn't even know she had. It was as bright as the bright sun. How do you know I'm here? Guo Cheng has seen your photo at our house, how could he not recognize you? When you come back, tell me that the female medical soldier who accompanied Comrade Feng Qingxiu is you." Du Haidao, who has Chinese characters for his face and thick eyebrows, said as he came in. Xiang Feng Qingxiu solemnly thanked her. "We know everything about this girl Xiaotao from her letter, but we just didn't have the chance to say thank you to Comrade Feng." Feng Qingxiu had already stood up, avoiding Du Haidao's bow, and instead gave him a military salute. He was of a higher rank than her. "Comrade Du is serious, but in fact I haven't done anything. I couldn't help Du Xiaotao like I helped Zhang Xiaoyu, Fang Ning, and others. I just told her a marriage at the end. Out of respect for my comrades, no one in the army could do anything. No one talks about the past." Du Haidao said seriously, "No, Comrade Feng helped Xiaotao a lot in that situation. Not everyone has the courage to help her. Everyone in our family is very grateful. The issue of male and female styles is nothing else, and it is not unheard of that it affects lives." Feng Qingxiu smiled sheepishly. "Comrade Du, please don't say that. During the time Xiaotao stayed in the army, most of the things your family sent to Xiaotao, as long as they were food, ended up at my house. Xiaotao also made 2 sets of clothes for my child when he was pregnant. Otherwise, how can we say that Zibao is loved by thousands of people and yet other family members are jealous?"